Hello and good evening. Welcome, everybody. Well, let's turn down that mic one notch there. Hello and good evening, and let's just see who is on. Um, I, oops, let's mute that other window over there. Let's move this window up there so I can see everybody, and let's move this window over here so I can pay attention to what's going on here. So hello. So it looks like we have a few people in chat already. We have Sergio HVAC A to Z. Hello, Sergio, and Vince. 3D Medic Vince is here, and Cliff D is here. Nick, and Jose. Hello. Hi, guys. How are you all doing? Wow, it's been a week. It's been a day. I was just prior to the stream looking up the Big Tree Tech specs for the SKR Pro V1.2 board that we're going to hopefully be using in Barbie. And my goodness, I'm going to need some help with this tonight, especially with the stepper. I'm trying to find out the pin location for these specific little pins for the 2208 steppers that I'm going to steal off of this. What is this? The Octopus board. Now, unless 2, 3, 4, 5. This has 6 steppers. Unless I can use this Octopus board in place. Although the Octopus is a little big and a little overkill, but I'm more familiar with the Octopus than I am with the SKR Pro. We'll worry about that in a few minutes here. Betty Boop, hello. How are you? The Apprentice is here, and I see who else has joined us. That's it. So far, 9 people watching. Good. So we're getting ready. We are ready to start getting Barbie wired. So I got the I've got the tools I need here, and I've got everything. We got a little bit of a head start on her yesterday, and boop de doop. It's easy for you to say. Oh, kind of funky. I just noticed this camera. You can see a little screen behind it there, so you can kind of see me in the camera here. Hi. Too funny. Okay, so let me show you what I did yesterday and what we're going to work on tonight. Let me stand up here. So let's bring Barbie over into the picture here. There we are. So let's move this guy just out of the way for now. We're going to probably be using him for some close-ups later. So what we did for Barbie, I tried to find her a new power supply that would be strong enough to work on this, but I couldn't. So we basically mounted the power supply the best way we could underneath, given the space we had. So power supply is mounted like this. We do have the power supply already wired up to the main switch, which is right here. This is put on the opposite side that they wanted it to be put on, but that's okay, because I needed to be able to reach the mains on the power supply here in order to plug it in the proper spot. No big deal. We have a fan mount here, which we have yet to put into position here, and that's going to be mounting a 3010 fan, and the object of that 3010 fan is going to be being to cool off the electronics. They're going in here. We've got these. We're going to be stripping and adding connectors to these 3 stepper motors tonight. And we're going to be not getting all my wires connected here, messed up. We're going to be running the wires. We're going to try and get our bed wires run. We have our bed heater and our bed thermistor here we got to run. And we're just going to start wiring up and doing some stuff. You think the PSU under spec, not big enough? You think. Hey, 3D Experiments. This is 150 watt. The only way I could get a smaller PSU was to go to 100 watt, and it has smaller case. But then I believe that with all the motors going, the heater going, and the extruder going, I think we're going to be drawing more than 100 watts. So we needed at least 150 watts to do this. This is the one that came with the actual original 0.1. So the only extra draw it's going to get, which is very little draw, is the 2 extra Z motors. So that's not a big deal. I'm not worried about having a too weak of a power supply, but I was worried about if I bought a 100-watt power supply to fit it better. I was worried about having not enough power, not enough wattage for the draw that it's going to take. So there we go. Okay, and then I can probably fit both pies. I've got my pies all set to mount on the board. I've got my Pi, this is the Pi 3B Plus, okay, that was originally in this printer. And then I have the little Pi 02W, which was on the rat rig at one point in time. We no longer have the rat rig, so that's found a new home. I think I told you guys all that. It's found a new home within the city here, which is great. And so I haven't decided yet which one I'm going to use. Maybe it'll be this one now that I just dropped this one, but we'll see. Now these things can take a beating. Okay, so, and then as I say, the SKR Pro V12, I have that ready to mount, but I'm not familiar with that board as much as I am with the Octopus. The Octopus is already set with the steppers and everything in place. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't mind trying to get the Octopus to work on this if I can. It's overkill, but it's all a matter of I have to fit the main board and the Pi in this backspace right here. So, but before I do anything, what I need to do is I'm going to bore you guys with a little bit of wiring, because we do need to get some wires put on these stepper motors. Specifically, these two are the AB motors. Those are already wired. They're fine because we're reusing the motors from the original kit. And the 3Z motors are these ones down here, which didn't come wired with any plugs, but we got to wire those guys up. So let me just put a few things out of my way here so we can get started on some wiring, because of course this stream is called Barbie Gets Wired. Yes, sir. We have 14 people watching so far. Awesome. I appreciate y'all coming in and putting up with my banter and my chat and everything. So that is great. Thank you very much for being here. Yeah, and then as I alluded to last week, we're gonna try and get away with this breakout board, the umbilical. I've been looking, and on the little part that goes on the hot end here, there are plugs for 2 hot end fans, part fans. I thought it was 2 part fans. We have a part fan and a part fan. I'm going to probably combine my 2 part fans into one of these plugs, and then we'll utilize the second part fan plug for the nozzle probe. So that way we don't have to run these wires all the way back as separate wires. So we're going to see if we can't just combine the 2 hot end fans, part cooling fans, because we do have 2 part cooling fan plugs. We can get them into one, and I believe they are running on 5 volt. We'll double check everything as we go. And then of course we have the 5 volt power converter for the Raspberry Pi. Now I know I could probably power the Raspberry Pi off of the main board. On the Octopus here, I'm positive that I can power the Raspberry Pi off of this main board. So that may eliminate the need for having a separate power supply, but we'll look at that as we go as well. So Brent Ferguson, hello, and Michael Ralph, how has the heat been there? We had a lot of heat here last week. We were in a heat warning, and that's all been lifted, and it's actually normal summer temperatures right now for Calgary, so it's been great. So yeah, it's been perfect. It's been bearable and so forth. So we're gonna get these 3. First thing we'll do is get the boring stuff out of the way. We'll get these stepper motors wired. Now the thing with these stepper motors is that I don't know how long they're going to need to be, but I can pretty much guess. So we have this middle Z stepper motor, which does not have to have this much wire on it, of course, because it's just going to be reaching into wherever I happen to put the main board here. Now, we did go through this last time as well, but so we've got the power supply fixed in place. So now the question we ask ourselves here, overhead view, is, and let me give you a zoom in look here, just because I can. Is this thing powered on? And this doesn't seem to be on. Let me just make sure that I've got the power for this thing turned on. And it doesn't seem to want to connect. Hang on 1 second. Dum, da, da, da. I am just going to open up. There we go. I think I just had to open this little app here. And once I open that and I minimize it, I should be okay now. There we go. So we should be able to go ahead and zoom in a little bit there for you. And we'll move that camera kind of right there. So we have the space here. This is the space we have to put a main board and a Pi. Okay, so and those are going to sit, that'll sit sort of like that. If I use the SKR Pro V2, it can sit up a little higher, which is actually good because it's going to be easier to get at some of these plugs. And then this guy can sit somewhere in like that. Here, let's throw one of these little, let's just see if this would fit. See that? It's not, no, that's going to be kind of tight right there. I could turn this guy sideways like so. I think I would want to come in with the powers coming from the bottom like that. So he could sit like this. We kind of have access to all the plugs. And this little guy, if we want to use the larger Raspberry Pi, could kind of sit just like so, but then we have some plugs to come in the side here. So we're gonna look at that a little closer once I get ready to get those things stuck in. Hey, MG20TX. And Jeff Thorson is here too. Okay, so let's go ahead and wire up these stepper motor connectors. We'll zoom out here a little bit. Okay. And then we'll just get a little bit of wiring going. I have my wiring kit and everything all ready this time. Instead of searching for everything, we have all the tools ready. We'll pull up the stool. And you guys get to watch some real boring wiring stuff. But fortunately, the good news is I've gotten relatively good at wiring these things because I've done enough of them. So this is the diagram. This is the plug I'm going by. Okay, this was the original Z motor for this printer. I'm not worried about the wiring at the motor end, of course, because these are wired right into the motor. These don't unplug from the motors at all. This is the end I'm looking at, and I'm going to go by this same wiring sequence on here, which is, depending on which way I'm holding it, but of course I'm holding it this way. And the wiring sequence on here is basically black, green, red, blue, or blue, red, green, black. So that's the sequence we're going to wire these at, which is how those motors should work. If not, then hey, it's on me. So I think what I'm going to do, for the sake of, I hate when I cut too much wire off and I don't have enough length, right? I'd rather have more wire than I need and have to kind of bundle it up than have less wire. So I think I'm just going to leave all these as they are, lengthwise. We'll wire up a plug into them, and then later on, if I need to clean up my wiring a little bit better, I will cut them short and rewire them. But for now, I'm just going to leave them at the same length. So we're just going to start by cutting all these even, like so. We'll get some pins out. So we're going to need 4 pins for this. 1, 2, 3, 4. These things are smaller than, things on screen are smaller than they appear. They look like little ants on the table, but those are actually the pins that I need to use in order to go into these connectors right here, which are going to connect to the main board. And I believe it's the same size pin for either one of these boards, and it is. So that's where we're looking to plug these stepper pins in. So, yes, sir. Don't trust these colors. Always check the pairs for the coils A and B. This is a start. It'll either work or won't. But I don't know where I would check the pairs for those. But I'm not making, I guess I shouldn't make the assumption, but the colors coming out of the motors are the same as the colors coming out of the other motors, which is blue, green, red, black, blue, green, red, black. So we'll start with this, and then it's not going to kill anything. Worst case is I'll have to switch a couple pins around, I believe. So this is the rookie part of me just, saying, okay, let's just do it the way I think it's going to get done. And if I'm wrong, well, then I'll learn the hard way. But it's easy enough to fix if I am wrong. It's not like I'm going to wire a fan up incorrectly and burn a board out, but we'll see. So let me see. I haven't crimped these wires in a long time. And I do believe that I've got the right crimping tool here. This is my iWise, however you want to pronounce it. And let me zoom in a bit, because the crimping process, this little process is kind of cool. When I first did it, I wrecked so many connectors, but when you get used to how this works, it's pretty cool. That's as far as I can zoom in with that camera. So we'll get this one set, and I think it was on this second one here, which is the 1.3. And just click it. There we go. I just want to make sure we'll do one wire to make sure I know what I'm doing, and then we'll get the rest of them going zippity click. Let's have a look. Something didn't work there because I just ended up, I cut the whole wire right off. So obviously I'm in the wrong slot. See, that's why we do a practice run. Now I crimp. Yes. Sounds like an Apple product, doesn't it? I crimp. We don't need much wire bared for these little connectors, but we do have to make sure that we're not over tightening them. So I think I was in the one that was crimping a little too tight. So we're going to try this one here and the next one up, which is the 1.6, whatever those units mean. The width, that's the width of the connector. And we go in with the wire, make sure we have the cable in there, and there we go. That's better. So there we go. Let me grab this, and I'll just, not that you guys need to see this, but there might be somebody watch this video later, maybe, that would like to see what this looks like. So if I switch over, yeah, sure. This, that's not what I, and that camera's frozen. What's going on here? That's not what I want. Okay, something's frozen on my ATEM. Why is it not showing? That's just a frozen image of me. Give me a second. Technical difficulties, I swear, Okay, hang on. Where's my mouse? There's my mouse. I got to go in here, and I've got to go and deactivate, and boom. There we go. Now we're working. Now we're cooking with oil and vinegar. So there is the perfect crimp right there. Hopefully you can kind of see that. Past Tim. Hey Tim, where did you post your spreadsheet on pricing? Let me check into that, Brent. I'm not sure if I actually ever did, but I will. So, okay, let me get back to this camera here. I'll just leave this one handy, and let me just check. I got obviously a very important text message here. Did I get a very important text message, or is this junk? Oh no, that was just junk. Okay, so with that down, let's just go ahead and get the rest of these, and then we'll get one of the connectors on and we'll get going. So this should go pretty smooth from here out. Okay, maybe a hair more. Just trimming usually about 1.5 millimeters is all that needs. Okay. This is where I need stream music. Blue. I could actually just sing or hum a tune while I'm doing this, you know, especially during those awkward silent moment parts, right? But what are we at? 15 viewers right now. I bet if I start humming and singing, we'll get down to like maybe 2. And those are probably 2 that have muted me already. So I won't be attempting any online singing, sorry. That's a good thing though. Oops. Couldn't help myself. And I believe the black is the last one. Here, let's get a close-up of these ones, of this one. There we go. Look at that. That's how much wire I'm stripping. You can kind of see right at the tip of my finger there. We'll tidy it up here. We'll grab a pin. Then we throw the pin. I'm using the, I guess it's probably the middle one, I suppose, but right in like so. So we have one click, and you can kind of see it right in there. And from the back side, there's the part. And the trick is to make sure that you have that in just far enough so you're crimping your wire and your insulation in the wire, and you're not crimping the parts that don't need crimping. So we take this and we just put that in there, and you can feel when the insulation is going to go in far enough, which is right about there, and then you squeeze and it makes a nice clean crimp. Okay, now we'll take our plug, which is our 4-prong plug. We will line it up to make sure that we're going to get the same sequence as this motor that we're using as an example. So we're going to go from this side. Oops, that's easier if I show you from this side like that. So we have those little 2 nubbies there that are what's locking it into the board. So we're going to go blue, red, green, black. We're going to follow the same sequence. So we have black on the outside and blue on the outside. Why do I keep getting messages? Okay. There we go. So we have black, green, red, blue. And there's a tiny little pin on there. You pretty much know which way these go in. It's pretty self-explanatory. Black, green, red, blue. Green, you'll hear it click in like that. Red, you won't hear it unless I hold it really close to the mic like this. Hang on, ready? Hang on. Yeah, you probably didn't hear that click in because I didn't even hear it click in. And blue. So there we go. We are wired up for one motor. Ta-da! Okay, now we'll work on the other ones. Anybody falling asleep yet? Start humming the Jeopardy song. I could do that. For some reason, these are already all stripped. Oh, they probably came pre-stripped. But yeah, no. We're not going to keep the pre-stripped ones. We're going to redo them. Let me just make sure this isn't something I do have to pay attention to. What? Why am I getting spammed on text messages now? 16. Good. We've gained 2. I thought for sure we'd lose a few. There's 1. There's 2. and blue. See, I told you, once you get the first one going, they go pretty quick. And yeah, I could have done this off stream, saved you all the boredom, but you know what? Misery loves company. Shouldn't say that. You guys have the option of watching different things or going and watching your favorite TV show, but you are here, and I appreciate that. Okay. Now, if I can do these with my massive man hands, anybody can do these. All it takes is a bit of patience, bit of practice, and the proper tools. You want a proper tool like this one to be doing this. It begins, Tim. I get about 10 spam text messages a day. Wow. Yes, scary. Survive the heat. Oh, speaking of which, it's hot here. I got to go get my little fan. I need my portable fan. I guess you could call it cheating a little bit. We did put the portable air conditioners in the bedrooms for a few nights because it just got so unbearable. And when you're in a 3-story home, you all know where the heat goes, right? In a 3-story home, right to the upper floor where the bedrooms are. Oh, that's a defective pin. But yeah, we definitely survived it. It's still, I think our house is still warm from the heat wave, but because I've been really warm all day today. It's been crazy warm for me. But people will say, look at the size of you, and you know, no wonder you're warm. Well, of course, yeah, I'm a big guy, and I tend to get warm easy. So I have a big glass of water with me right now. Okay, come on, get in there. I think that one worked. This might be, let me double check. Oh yeah, that worked okay. I didn't feel the insulation going in there, so. Last night, yours dropped 20 Celsius finally. Oh, that's good. We have no trees, no. No trees, Gary. But we do have curtains that we have closed, which helps the sun not come in. And then today we had front and back windows open because there was a nice breeze today, actually. And it's actually nice and cool in the main floor today. So, but once I get down here and under the lights like this, I get a bit warm. So I'm going to grab my fan. So these 4 are done. We'll grab a pin. I'm going to pin these in, and then I'll go grab my fan. Come on. Come on. Oh, man. There we are. So again, we were black, green, red, blue. Black, green, red, and blue. Fun. There's 2 down. And 1 more to go. Let me just go get my little fan real quick. Although you're all my big fans, but let me go get my little fan, my portable. I got this fan on, probably 5 years ago or so. You guys have seen it in my videos. It was a Kickstarter thing. But man, such nice fans, these little guys. Because you can actually extend it up pretty tall or down pretty short, and it's rechargeable. It does a great job. So I'm just going to stick it right here and turn that on. There we go. And the battery lasts quite a while. Just be on the lookout for messages that says your package has arrived. Oh, Sergio, I get a ton of those. I get a lot of email notifications, now email notifications as well to my business address saying that my courier package tracking number is this. Go ahead to track, or you have customs due, or this, that, and the, oh man, it's unbelievable. I know what I order. So I know when I get a message that, okay, I don't remember ordering this. I know I didn't order anything from blah, blah, so I don't. Now, the odd time companies have sent me stuff, but you can pretty much tell if something's legitimate or not. Okay, we'll get these ones going. Okay, wire cutters, strippers. Like an echo. Something just happened. That was weird. I heard a voice to my left. Okay, that was really weird. Is my studio haunted? What do you guys think of my new threadboard wall? It has cleaned up my desk tremendously, and it's helped me organize a lot of my stuff way better than I've been organized before. So I can find things so much easier now over here. And I still have almost half of the board to utilize to put stuff in. Yeah, it's a sad thing, Sergio, is people, and that's why they do it, because there are people that fall for it. And so as long as there's people that fall for it, they're going to continue to do it. These scammers they'll never be out of business because there's always gullible people. Now, I say gullible, and I feel for senior citizens, because senior citizens by nature, a lot of them they don't know better because they didn't grow up in the technology era we have right now. Hey, Teza, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I like the setup too. That was one of the best little investments I ever did, was contributing to that Threadboards Kickstarter campaign. There's so much I can do on there, and there's so much I've yet to do. So I really, really like how that turned out, utilizing that blank wall space. And I think I'm actually going to expand it even further. But yeah, even further. Every bit of filament you see on that wall was Polymaker filament too. So beautiful. Okay, we got one more here to wire up. These are going. I remember when I did my first wiring like this on a stream, it didn't go nearly as um, smoothly as this is tonight. So, but live and learn. Oh, my handles are sliding off my crimper here. And if you do a lot of this, it's well worth investing in the proper tools. I'm going to be doing, last year I intended to, but I never got to it. This year I am going to be doing a video eventually of the different tools that I use, and why I use the tools and why it's worth investing a few extra bucks in buying the proper tools and good quality tools for doing your builds and stuff. So there's a ton of people out there that have done videos like that, but I want to do my own. So definitely. Hey, Jerry, how are you, my friend? Glad I had the opportunity to pop on for a little bit yesterday. Okay, and we got, oh, I didn't switch cameras back when I did this. I want, you guys are supposed to see my pain as I go through it. And there we go. Although it doesn't matter. Not like you're missing much after you've seen the first few. There, we'll do a close up on this one just because. Oh, and I'm kind of like, you might know, I'm not even going to bother bringing that up. Maybe next time. I'll jinx myself if I bring it up. Okay. And one more. Uno más. Come on. Sure, the last one's going to be the stubborn one. Uh-huh. Okay. I think I just cut too much. Stripped too much off this one. That's exactly what the problem is. That's it. And there we go. We'll grab our plug. Okay. Where'd that fall? It doesn't matter. So we want on this side black, green, red, blue. There you go, black. That's not black. What a time to turn colorblind. This is black. Although if I can't see black, does that mean I'm colorblind? Black, green, red, blue. Green. Red. Oh, nice, Jerry. It didn't come. Were you expecting yesterday? I take it then? Red and blue, the last one. You know, the focus keeps going in and out here, but oh well. Blue. One. So there is the final one all wired up. Ready to go. Good. Awesome. Okay, good. Boring part's over. Well, I'm not saying that. I can't promise that. So there's our sample motor. We can just stick that right there. You know. Put these aside. Okay. What else do I have to wire up? I need to put a plug on this probe, but I wasn't sure where. So now let's go ahead and let's go ahead and decide on a main board. Yeah, I'm being lazy and unknowledgeable, but the only reason I'm leaning towards going with the octopus, even though it's a little bit, the width we're pretty much even, but our length we're about a half an inch longer in length. But the only reason I'm leaning on going to the octopus is because I'm familiar with it. Now, although that doesn't mean I can't get familiar with this one, but I've been looking and I cannot find anywhere that tells me what position to put these pins for these steppers, which are the TMC 2209s. Now, I don't know if it would be the same position as on the octopus, though. So let's go here. So if I pop one of these steppers off, pop this end one off. Okay. So this shows this pin. It's hard to see on there, but this shows the pin in slot number. I'm going to call it 2 and then 2 up. And if we compare it to this one, it's got this one has more pinouts in the stepper versus this one. You can kind of see the difference. If I put them side by side, you can kind of see the difference in the number of pins that are available to choose. That's kind of why I want to be careful, because I know you have to have the pins in the proper location depending on the type of stepper we're putting in here. So Intel CPUs are dying at a 50% rate. Really? Interesting. So anyways, so that's why I'm not 100% sure what I want to do here. Make sure I put this back in properly. There we go. So now the other thing is, if I'm going to use the octopus, I need to print a different mount for it, because I printed the mount for the SKR Pro 1 too. There we go. I'm sure you'll get that, Jerry, eventually. So let's just see. Can I fit the octopus? So we're going to have wires coming from the umbilical down here. We're going to have our stepper motors coming from here and below here. We have 2 stepper motors coming from above. So if I were to mount this somewhere like here, okay, you should be able to reach the electronics over here. This might work, as I say, because there's the, you can kind of see that's the octopus in place here, actually. I thought I was on this camera. So here we go. There, that better be right there. So that's the octopus in place. If I did that, I would probably definitely have to use the Pi Zero, which could go probably off to the side. I don't know, somewhere in here, because we're so tight for space in this little back here. And because we have the extra 2Z motors, we have to have a larger board that's going to have allow for 6 steppers. So I'm kind of stuck. Oh, Steve Alpha, don't worry, you're not late. You're just on time. You missed the boring part of me wiring up the putting the plug-ins on the stepper motors. So you didn't miss much. Now I'm just trying to figure out whether I want to use the Octopus board in there, or if I take that out, and if I use the SKR Pro 2 1.2, again, that's going to have to probably just sit somewhere like this, probably right about there. We're going to have a mess in the back of this printer, which is fine. So that'll sit somewhere there. So let's just say right about there. And again, I think the Pi Zero is the one that we got to use in order to make this work. So yeah. Okay, if I grab the little thing off the Pi, if I put this on the Pi 2, so we have these are these little new clips that came with the 0.2 build. Okay, so the Pi 2 would sit somewhere up in this area. Okay, Jose, take care. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Hey, Steve L3D. Use DIN rails. So I've got these little DIN caps. They're little DIN, like I suppose they're little mini DIN rails, like these two here. I got DIN rails. I don't need. The last thing I want to do is crowd this with more DIN rails in the center, because there's really these are the only 2 pieces that have got to go on here, and then the only other thing that's going to go on here is there's this guy here. Oh, I guess I got to keep that in mind, because we have the 5-volt power supply for the Pi, unless I just power the Pi off the main board, which is what I really should just do. This is the 5-volt power supply that came with the Zero when I built the Zero. I mean, I could always throw this 5-volt power supply off to the side. I'm not overly. I don't know if I'll be enclosing this printer or not. That's another thing I got to consider. So, but this is normally meant to go here, but we have a fan mount here for this instead. So I think, because I think either one of these boards, these pins over here and on this guy here through these pins over here, I can get 5-volt power supply for the Pi. So I may not even worry about that. Can't do that. It's not pink. This, but it's hidden. That's Barbie's guilty pleasure, is the green, because look, the green does kind of go nice with the pink. It's very, very fluorescent-y. So I can do all I want. So let me first have a look and see if I can find the pinning, the proper pinning for TNT 2209 steppers on this. And if I can find that and get these steppers put in properly, then I don't see why I couldn't use this board, because we have our fan connectors here, which hopefully are 5-volt, but we're going to have to check that to make sure. We have our thermistor connectors we have here. We have our end stop connectors here. We have, of course, our stepper motor connectors here. And I mean, this is set for X, Y, Z0, Z1, and E0, E1, E2. But we can assign those to whatever we want for stepper motors. So yeah, and then of course we have our, our mains powers here for our board and everything. So yeah, let me check and see first if I can find the proper connections for the 2209s. Okay, for the TMCs. Let me go ahead and move this guy back for a minute. Or move this girl back for a minute. Sorry, Barbie, I just called you a guy. Pull my keyboard over here, and let's see what we can find. If anybody finds it before me, let me know. I do have a pinout. Now, with all that said, I do have. Here's my Acrobat window here. There it is right here. Oh, there it is. So I do have. I'll share my display. Sorry, this is where I was just looking at all the wiring and everything for this guy. But I do have. There's the SKR 412 wiring diagram, and then we have this. This one here, which is sort of a very complicated one. This isn't really telling me much about the proper pinning procedure for TNC 2209. Unless, hang on, if I zoom in closer, what are we seeing here? Oops. When did that step? When in SPI mode. SPI mode, so. This is the part that gets me is this complicated stuff right here. This is the intimidating stuff, guys, for me. I'm sure there's people out there that are going, oh, come on, it's simple. You just put the pins here, 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 and here, and you're done. First sign of failure is the game crashes during loading with an error of memory error during rendering. Interesting. I take it you're talking about the failure of the Intel processors. Yeah, this gives me a diagram of everything I need on this board. But there's our 5-volt pinout right there, which is good to know. So I can power the Pi from the 5-volt pins right here. That's the two red ones. We have 12, 5, and 3.3 volt power here. On the fans, it doesn't tell me what voltage these fans are. 12 and 24, 12 and 24. Okay, so we can pin these to be either 12 or 24. And I believe the fan, I'll have to double check the fan requirement for the hot end, but I'll have to double check. So that's good to know. But what I'm interested in is these steppers and how those are pinned out. The one stepper motor place 2 jumpers is shown below in the Z1 socket. For one stepper motor, place 2 jumpers as shown below. Let's read this. For 2 stepper motors, do not use 2 jumpers. Okay, so we're just going to be doing individual stepper motors on this. And okay, so let me see. For one stepper motor, place 2 jumpers as shown in the Z1 socket. So here is the Z1 socket is Z1 right here. Where is the Z1 socket on here? ZURYZ. Okay, so here. So we have, it looks like we have a pin here. I'm very confused. Okay. Anybody have a clue? For one stepper, place 2 jumpers as shown below in the Z1 socket. Oh, here's the Z1 socket. Oh, I see what it's saying on that one. Okay, that doesn't help. Okay, that's already done on this. So basically what that's saying is that's already done on this. You can see the Z1 plug right there, and we have two jump placed in there for one stepper motor. If we were doing dual stepper motors on one, we'd remove those. That's okay. That makes sense for what that's saying. What that doesn't tell me, what I'm looking at is to make sure that I get the pinouts down here for the proper steppers that I'm going to be putting on. And that's kind of what I'm trying to figure out right now, is how these things are. I'm not sure what these things are pinned out for right now because there's no steppers in them. And I don't remember where this came from. The new system will be the Ryzen 5 with 32 gig RAM, 1 terabyte. I think that sounds like a fast system. Okay, so that has nothing to do with what I'm doing here. So let me just do a Google search here. Let me find, I'm going to go to the interwebs. Where are we here? Okay. SKR Pro 1.2. Yes. Hmm. That's UART this home, and we don't want that. Maybe this is what I need. That's a type of config. Hmm. Hmm. Trying to figure this out. Stepper jumper driver configuration manual. Let's look at this. Yeah, I was on already. 2208. Huh. I don't know. I'm kind of lost. I may just end up having to just throw the octopus in there because I know that that's already set up properly for the steppers. CSKR 1.3. Let's see. Mm, I don't think there's going to be any diagrams on here. No, that's just put in. That's the default mode it comes with right there with all those pins in. But with 2209s, I'm not going to choose the images. Let me. This is just a advertising video. No. Okay. I wonder if it'd be the same as the 1.3. This is Chris's basement. See what he's doing here. Oh, can't hear him. Turn my speaker on. Hang on. I think this might help me. What is going on here? Stop. There we go. Let's have a look at this. See what Chris is saying here. Mine is a 1.2. Okay, here we go. Hmm. See what he says there. One more. Okay, that looks a little, obviously it's a little different board than ours here, but let's just see if that's obvious on here, which one those are. He said MS0 and MS1. Right now they're in UART mode, it looks like. X, Y, Z, E0, E1, E2. Do I want to keep them in UART mode or do I want to switch them? This is where I'm sorry, guys, but I'm very, very, very unknowledgeable when it comes to these boards, which is why I need clear instructions. I'm kind of lost here. You're missing your stream. What do you mean I'm missing my stream? I know. I'm watching this to try and figure out what I'm supposed to do here. So sorry about that, but it kind of gave me it. I don't know. Maybe they'll work just as they are. I don't know. So for now, kind of makes me want to just go with the octopus then, which is way overkill. But at least I know what I'm supposedly know what I'm doing with this one. So it's the SKR Pro V1.2, Andrew. It's the SKR, this one here, the SKR Pro V1.2. And I'm just trying to determine whether my pins in here are correct for my TMC 2209 drivers. Now it looks like these are all pinned for UART mode right now. And I don't know if that is what I want to go with, or do I need to pin that differently for a 2209 driver? which I'm going to steal off of the octopus board. I do want UART for 2209s. Okay, so it looks like this is based on what I'm reading here. We have a X, Y, Z UART and then E0, E1, E2 UART, and it looks like they're pinned in UART. So this is basically what I want then for the driver. So we should be good to go with these. Okay, that's kind of the reassurance I needed, and then that way I don't mind now just switching out these steppers for this board. Okay, so I should just be able to swap these cleanly in. Like so. Am I going to do sensorless homing? I don't know. I haven't put any homing switches on my X and Y yet. So can I do sensorless homing with UART? Okay. I've never tried sensorless homing on one of these printers before. But hey, why not? I'm always open to trying something new. Okay. So there's the 6 drivers and 6 steppers in place. Now the only thing I'm going to have to do, obviously, when we do the firmware and the software is we're going to have to assign. Of course, we have our X and Y, which are fine, but we're going to have Z0 and Z1. No, we're going to have Z0. Then we're going to have E0 and E1 assigned as my other 2 Z steppers, and then of course E2 is going to be my extruder on the hot end. Oh no, we have an A and B motor. Okay, that's the X and Y is my A and B. X and Y is my A and B. My Z0 can be motor 1Z, E0 can be Z2, and E1 can be Z3, and E2 can be my extruder, I think. Just make sure you have your bed measurements right. Okay, yes. If you don't do sensorless homing, you have to remove some pins on the drivers. This board doesn't have jumpers for sensorless. Okay, if you don't do sensorless, you have to remove some pins on the drivers. Okay, so basically I should be good the way I am now. I can always change that pinning out, but okay, well, let's put this guy aside. Was this in UART mode anyways? Anyways, doesn't matter. Here nor there. Okay, so we have this guy ready. I need a drink. Okay, perfect. So we will do sensorless homing then. Why not? So now we're just going to determine positions for this board and for the Pi, and then we can start with some wiring configuration. Because we got wires coming from every one of Barbie's orifices has wires coming from it now. Yeah, bed measurement should be pretty easy to do, but yeah. This is going to be fun when we get to start it up finally, right? So you don't want to miss that one. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to remove this because we're going to put the, we're going to be mounting. I'm going to have to find the proper mount for this. But we're going to be mounting this guy up here. That's going to actually go in like so. Let me grab my couple wrenches here. I have end stops for Z. Do I have end stops for Z? I don't know if I've put them in yet. Oh, that's going to be the nozzle. The nozzle, we're gonna this is going to be the nozzle is my ZN stop, and I don't have a lower ZN stop. We'll look at that. Make sure your driver boards have the jumpers installed. Otherwise, you have to remove pins. Okay. That's right, poke. So this guy is going to go. And I think I do need to. So he's going to go in here somewhere. Like so. But I don't know if I've got enough screws under there. But anyways, we can add that guy later. Right now we got to decide exactly the position we want this guy in. So there we go. So I'm thinking probably somewhere we want to go as low as we can. Probably somewhere just about like that. Then we're going to just have to run these stepper wires down and under. These are the A and B, which are going to be over to this side, X and Y. So this one is going to have to reach over. It might be easier to go up this way. Let's just have a look. On our farthest motor on the bottom, let me just grab a set of these wires from one of my Z motors and see how far we're going to fit with these. Oh yeah, okay, so these ones can come up. It's just a lot of wiring for a little bit of space. Only jokes. Why would you back out of the conversation? Don't be silly. So if we have this guy here, okay, this is our farthest Z wire. So yeah, I've got lots of, oh, this one here is the farthest Z, which I can fit in any one of these. So we can reach around with this. Okay, so I think we're going to mount this board this way so that the steppers are up top. And then all my other wires, which are going to come out of the umbilical, except the bad wires, which are going to, I'm going to have to run the bad wires down through here, whoosh, down through here, and they'll come down through this way. Okay, yeah. Now I think we're going to be okay to mount this board like this. And then we can put the pi 0 up above. I don't think the pi, we might still fit the, depending on the umbilical, but I think it's going to be a bit tight if we try and put the pi 3 there versus just sticking the pi 0 right about here. Either way, it's going to be really tight on the wiring. So, yeah. So I think I'm going to go ahead and stick this. Got to leave room for the wires underneath. Got to leave room for the USBs, the micro SD card. Man, this is tight. Oh, Barbie, what? I'm not going to say it. I am not going to say it. I almost did, but I'm not going to say it. Okay. Let's get this wire out of the way. Let's get a clean view in here. I don't think I can get away with... Can I get away with this? No. Damn. How are the other ones that are doing tri-zeros? What are they using? Anybody else? Anybody on here have done a tri-zero? And did you use a larger board? And how did you fit everything? This is challenging. But it's my duty to complicate things. I know, isn't it? If I go up this way, it doesn't matter. I can always lengthen wires. I shouldn't worry about that. But still, if I go up this way, maybe I don't do the umbilical. Maybe I don't do the umbilical because the umbilical is going to complicate things because it's going to be up here. It's going to be up in here, say. Let's just, for sake. There's going to be wires coming out of the umbilical, and there's going to be wires coming out of here. And where's the pie going? Even if this is down here a little bit, and I have a pie in here, there's going to be a lot of, it's going to be really difficult. Now the umbilical could probably, and maybe it's supposed to mount this way, like so. No, it can't mount this way. It's got to mount. Oh, this is crazy. This way. It's got to mount that way. So maybe we're not going to use an umbilical. We're just gonna connect these wires. We'll just connect these to some more extensions or whatever wires on these, and we'll run these all back down on a wire loom. I think that's going to be the only way. Yeah. That way we don't have to worry about making room for the umbilical, a pie, and this massive board. Okay. Okay, so we will mount. If I could go this way, it would be so much easier. And if I'm not using an umbilical, why can't I go this way? Right there gives us room for steppers and everything. And then we use a pi zero, kind of a little bit out of the way right here. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Yeah, we'll have to skip the umbilical. I think it's going to be a little too crowded for my liking. Okay, but this is going to have to come up a little bit so that I can access the mains wiring underneath here. Okay. Okay. That's what we'll do. So let me grab some VHB. Let me grab some VHB here. Come on. Get off of there. There we go. So I'm just going to put a little bit of VHB on the bottom of these. Like so. Okay. And then these are going to clip in. And we will bare our skin. And now we shall place this. So electronics on the bottom. We're going to leave enough room to bring things in. So we want to go close. Let me just go close to this stepper motor. But we need room for to put the card in. So but what's holding that there? Right about there. Well, it actually looks like it might even be straight too. So we got that on there. Okay, and then the pie can just kind of sit off to the side of it here. Oh, I should have brought this over this way more so that the pie could go on this side, because we're going to plug from here to the pie. Although it doesn't matter. I got room in behind to run the wires in behind, so I'm not going to fret about that. And then we want easy access to the micro SD on the pie, which is right here. We have our USBs out in the pie. We have our power in for the pie. So the pie should just be able to kind of sit. Probably, it can go even a little closer inside. So the pie can probably go right about there. You can't comment on straight things, right? VHB is like the new force. Yeah, this 3M tape is great. So I think the pie is going to go right about there. So we have access to the micro SD. We have access to the, even from this side, we have access to the USB plugs, power plug, HDMI, mini HDMI, etc. And I think that's going to be fine just about there. Okay, so let's go ahead and make it official. Cut a little piece of VHB tape, VUP tape, about like this. And we'll put this on here, like so. This stuff is great, but when you got to pull it off, well, it's not too bad when you get used to pulling it off, but the first time you go to pull this stuff off, good luck. There's an easy way to do it, and there's a hard way to do it. I prefer the easy way. There we go. Okay, so Mr. Pie, bye-bye, Mr. American Pie. And we're going to go right about there is probably fine. And the nice thing is now I can just pop that off if need be. And we just leave our little DIN rail, sort of our fake DIN rail things in here. And then that'll just pop right back on when I need it to. So pretty cool. And then the same with this one. This would pop off if I need to pop that main board off, and we just leave our two DIN connectors, DIN rail, little fake DIN rails in there. And then that'll just sort of slide on there when it comes time. Don't make me a liar. and pop on like that. There we go. Okay, good. Okay, you had to pull off a panel at one of your old apartments. It was VHB to the wall. You had nothing but an old ribbon. Oh man. The trick about with VHB, fishing wire, if you're pulling something off a wall that's been applied with VHB, where am I here? Fishing line's your best friend. And then when you have to remove VHB from the back of anything, don't pull. Use your thumb or your fingers and roll it off. Like when I had to clean it off the back of these panels, just roll it off, and it rolls off. It's a little bit of work. You maybe get a blister on your thumb, but it's the best way to get it off is roll it off. Okay. Okay, so now we can start looking at what we're going to do here. So X, Y, so we have A, B, X, Y, A, B, doesn't matter. We're going to assign whatever we have to assign. Now, I was looking at, where's that PDF document I had open? And if we open this one here, so this is what I've been going by through most of this build. These are the instructions for the 0.2 build. So we have wired the power supply to the main plug already, which was right here. Okay, so we've already got that wired up. We've got that in place right here, and we've wired that up to here. So the next thing they're talking now is we're going to wire to the control board. So we want the minus and the positive, and we're going to go into the control board, and the control board plugs are right in here. So let's go ahead and do that. I've got a bag of wires here from the previous build that I should be able to reuse a fair amount of these wires. There's our build plate. Let's pop these wires out. Some of them we won't need, some of them we will need. And let's see how much wiring up we can get done tonight. Okay, so this looks like the wire that went, so we have 24 volts in and to the 5-volt power supply. Oh, to 5-volt PSU. That's not the one we want. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, to SKR. Okay, so this is our one. So we're going to go from our 24 volts in, and this is to SKR. So this goes from our power supply to our SKR. Okay, let's have a look back here and see what we're looking at. Actually, I need to look, and I want you guys to see too, but I get the first look. Heat fan. So we got to come in. Motor power. I want to make sure I come in the right spot on this board. The wiring, there's no real control board. Okay, so we can use the overhead here. See if we can, I don't know if that's focused or not. It's hard to see. It's not the best camera. And is the lens dirty maybe? And am I zoomed in all the way for you? Where's my zoomer? Where'd I put my zoomer? Oh, right here. I am zoomed in all the way. Okay. So we have our motor power. We have our power. We have our hotbed and our bed power. So I'm assuming then that the power in is going to be power from the mains. Let's not make those assumptions until we know for sure. And over here we have our heat 0, our heat 1, and our heater 2, and our fan. So these are going to be for our bed heater. Oh no, we have a bed heat here, bed power. I'm going to have to do a little bit of research on all this because I want to make sure everything gets hooked up properly. Because down here, this is our bed. And where's the other wire? Oh, you snuck out the other side door, didn't you? So these are our bed wires coming down here. So of course we have our bed power and our bed thermistor. Okay. We're going to look at that in a minute in the instructions and see where they run their bed power to. This is a little different than the original SKR that was on there, but I'm going to have a look at that. A Garrett makes a good saw. A Garrett. I just want to see the board that came off of this thing, the original board, and compare it to what I'm wiring up now. So the original SKR that came off of this was this one. No, that's a Rat OS. Was that this one? SKR Mini E3. Ah, that might be the one. Must have been. Yep. So this is the board that came off of that. Wow. Totally different. So I cannot go by this at all. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Thought I'd cheat. It got handled on both sides. Oh yeah. Well, you can get these handles that you put the fishing line on and yeah. Okay. Let's get the motors in first anyways. We're going to have to worry about that. So where's our A and B? Here's our A and B. We're going to wire them to the X and Y. So am I going to reach? Let's see. So A and B, if I'm not mistaken, the A motor was on the left on the back and the B motor was on the right. So we'll just do A as X. Now we'll do whatever's going to reach here. I'll worry about this and then when we do the software. Making sure that we have the right pins assigned to the right plugs. Okay. Okay, let's not worry about wire management right now, because that'll just drive me bonkers. So we have our middle Z. Let's call this Z1. Okay, again, wire management takes back seat for now. And we will call Barbie's right side Z2, which is all the way up here. Okay, and Barbie's left, which is right here. Let's come up around this. You will be Z3, or in this case, you are E1 and E0. We will use E2 as the extruder motor. Okay. So we got the extruder motor that's going to come down from the hot end, but we have to extend this wire, or we have to actually make a different. We need to rewire the plug anyways on it to go in the board. So. Okay, so we got that. Now we have the bed. Let me just check. Let me scroll back down through this guy and see where we are wiring the bed. We're going to worry about the fans in a bit. Okay, so the A is the right one. Okay, so here. Weird. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, we have A, B. So yeah, based on this is the A, this is the B. And of course, this is Z1 I've done Z1, Z2, Z3 going clockwise. So that's sort of my story. Okay, this is the SKR Pico, which is what they're doing on the new ones, on the new 02 kits. We're not worrying about the Pico. So we need to, and this is the Pi. Okay, let's see what they're doing here. They're putting the bed heater in there. 24 volts are coming in, and the hot end heater are going in there. And then this is the SKR E3 V3. Yeah, okay. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to have the bed heater coming in here. Well, we have bed power and hot bed and bed power. Hot bed and bed power. And we have heater 0, heater 1, and heater 2. Okay, well, we need to wire up the thermistor with a different plug anyways when we get the thermistor hooked up. This wiring is going to be fun, and don't want to be here when I first turn everything on the way it's going. So anyways, let's go ahead and put this on its rear. Let's get a look at Barbie's bottom side. And let's at least get this one wire, and then we'll determine where we're going to put it. 24 volts in, 5 volt PSU. This is the one we want 24 volts in. And we want this one's going to the SKR. So we want negative and positive up top here. No, this isn't the Octopus. This is the SKR V2 1.2. We went with the SKR. So we're going to get this is going to be the power to the main board. And we're going to put the black in the negative. Yeah, I wish it was the Octopus. The Octopus, I know the Octopus board better. Bad power and bad out. So I'm not sure, because we're not running a I'm not sure how the bad heater is working on this thing, to be honest with you, but anyways, I don't know. This is the part of the build that I always, without clear instructions like a kit, which we don't have a kit for this particular configuration build, without clear instructions, I kind of depend a little bit on research and basically luck. So this is the power that's going to go to the bed, or to the board. So this can sneak under here and down around here and through here. Okay. And then this wire is too long again, but no big deal. So this one now, I have ferrules on this one, which I don't want, because I want this to go in. I want power. I want to hook this up to the power right here, so I need to get new ends on this. Actually, what I should have done was just used this one, which is intended for it's the same gauge wire. It's kind of like the Octopus. You split the power from the power supply to the bed. It kind of segments the power just in case it's separately fused. Oh, I see what you're saying. So the bed power, let me see. This is coming from directly from the bed. I think the bed and the thermistors are going to be plugged into they're going to be connected underneath, and then I got to connect from underneath. I got to do a little bit more research on that, on the power connections for the bed, before I do anything too stupid. But I do know that this one is going to go into the power input on here. So we have motor power. Am I connecting to motor power? We have motor power, hotbed, and bed power. Let me have a peek at the diagram for this. So according to this, board power, there we go, output. Okay, so here's where I'm looking. There's a diagram for this board. So this is where we're going to plug the power from the PSU into the board. So there's the board power. Okay, then we have input motor power, which I don't think we're going to be using that one. Output heat bed power, input bed power. So we're going to run power from the main PSU. We're going to run power for the bed in, And then the bed itself is going to connect to these two. That's the power that's going out to the bed, because of course the bed is going to be switched on and off on the board. So we have to have another wire from the power supply to here for the bed input power, and then out to the bed right here. Okay, that makes sense. Could be the same one I'm looking at right now, and Andrew. That makes perfect sense. Then we have our E0 heater, which is our extruder, which is fine. We don't need an E2 and an E1 heater. Then we have our fan power, fan 0, fan 1, fan 2. That's fine. And then we have our limit switches if we're going to go, but if we're going to go limitless or switchless homing, or you know what I mean, sensorless homing. And these are the ones that we're going. So right now, this is going to be our A motor, our B motor. Whoops, our A motor, our B motor, Z1, and then we're going to use Z2, Z3, and then we're going to use this for our extruder. E1 is going to be our extruder. No, sorry, E2 is going to be our extruder motor. Yeah, so I think that's what we're going to do. I think that's a plan, and then we just have to make sure that we have the proper pins assigned in the firmware to tell it that that's extruder, that's Z3, that's Z2, that's Z1, that's B, and that's A. And then over here we're fine. And then all we got to do here, those are our thermistors. So we're going to have a bed thermistor there. We're going to have an extruder thermistor there, hot end thermistor. And then we need we're going to have to assign something in here to our nozzle probe. I don't see anything for probes in here, but I'm sure there's got to be something in here we can use as our nozzle probe. And then the other diagram we have is this one. Let's zoom this out a little bit. This is going to be the complicated part for me, is getting all this wiring figured out, but that's okay. There's a BL Touch one here, which we could probably steal for the nozzle probe. I don't know. The nozzle probe is just 2 wires, and the nozzle probe is a simple open or closed. So we can figure that out. I think, yeah, I think there's definitely room on here somewhere where we can hook up that probe, and then we just have to, yeah. And I can tie into right over here. Where's my little bar here? Right over here, I can use this 5 volt right here, and I can power the Pi through here, because the Pi just needs 5 volts to power it. So that I can tie in, so we have a positive and a ground for the Pi. It's just a simple 2 wire. And I do have a plug already. Where did I put it? I do have this, which I believe is what I use to power, to Raspberry Pi. So this we can tie into a 5 volt plug here, and this can go over, and if I'm not mistaken, this is the proper plug for the Raspberry Pi power. So that should give us 5 volts for the Pi 0. Let's make sure this actually fits. Whoops. So that can come off here for now. And yeah, that's the right way. Come on. And there we go. Yeah, so that'll be the Pi power. May have to make that wire longer, but then that just has to go to the 5 volt pins here. I may end up moving the Pi. I may end up moving this Pi right over here, just off to the side right here. Because really, then that way I can reach the power. Whoops. I can reach the power right here, and then I can reach my USB right here. And then I still have room to access the micro SD here. Yeah, I may move the Pi over to this side. I do think I have another one of those mounts. If not, I'll just print another one. Or I can tear this off the VHB. But I think I'm actually better off to have the Pi right over here. Just for for the simplicity of all the wiring. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Okay. So let's see what else we got going here for wires. So this is going to be to the so we don't need this one. This was the old wire from the 5-volt PSU. So actually I'm going to swap out I'm going to swap out this wire for the board power, and I'm just going to use this one. It's the same gauge, and yeah, so we're just going to swap that out. So for the board power, positive is on the left, negative is on the right. So we'll just fire this in, like, get in there, like so. Okay, let's get our negative in there. Like so. Okay, run this down here. We'll get what we can done tonight. Okay, and then this is going to go in here. Black on this side. Very tight, but I knew it was going to be. Can't believe I just said that. I just called Barbie very tight. Oh, well, your power supply is very, let's call it cramped. Negative there and the plus. So we'll just go over to the next one. Leave room for whatever for the. We have to also run to the for the bed here. Power to the bed. Okay. Okay. So there's that. It's gonna be a mess underneath here. I got to not interfere. Again, I got to remember I have a belt right here that I can't get the wires too close to because I don't want anything rubbing on this belt. So we'll just tuck these wires as we can for now. Okay. Now we need to go to the bed. So why don't I just use the same one I just had on there, and this can go to for the bed heater. Should I just make some new wires? I might just make some new wires for that. Okay, so we got the main board powered on right now. I could actually plug it in right now and make sure the main board and power supply are working because I've got nothing else plugged in that's going to cause any damage, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'll do that off stream so I don't embarrass myself too much. And I can get that off of the VHB tape, no problem. And as I said before, we just roll the VHB tape is the best way to get that off of there. Just like that. And we'll grab one more piece and we're going to move that pie over to the other side. You know, after all this flipping work, this printer better perform really well. I hope she performs as well as expected. This has been a very educational, eye-opening build so far. Not a lot of viewership on it, but hey, not everybody's interested in Barbie. And where'd the pie go? Here's the pie. That, and I think we said we can come right in just about come down. Let's bring it down a little bit this way. Yeah, so we have room for the USB cables to come in. Okay, we'll just call you home right there for now. And then this, I got to rewire this up anyways in order to get the right pin. We have to find our 5-volt pins here. That was that's that cluster there, and we can go There's 12 volts, so there's a 5-volt pins right in here. Anybody know why Pi will lose its DNS name on a network? No kidding. She's a 21st century chick. She's going to have a mind of her own. Treat her right and she'll blow your other printers out of the water. She will. I mean, my God, this is this is a wiring mess and a wiring nightmare. So what I got to do here, I'm going to turn her on her side here. We got some of these oh man, I'm having a brain fart here. Wagos. So we have Wagos for the bed. So basically what I'm going to do is let's get this stuff out of here. I think just to keep the wiring nice, little cleaner and neater, I'm going to utilize the Wagos that we put down here for the bed. We're going to have the bed basically connect the bed and the bed thermistor to the Wagos. Then we're going to run the Wagos down here. And I don't know if I'm going to use the drag chain that was here because I don't know if it's intended to, although I think the wiring is intended to go down through here like so, like yay so, from under the bed. But I think we're going to utilize the Wagos. That way, if there's ever issues, I have to change the bed. I'm not worried about you know what I mean. That I have it's like a dog type thing there. So we're going to use for that. So um, so yeah, so we're going to have to cut these, put them in the Wago containers, and then we're going to have to make some wires to go from the Wagos. We'll go down somewhere through here. We'll come down and over and through. And again, I don't know if this is intended to use the drag chain. I don't think it is. But at the same time, we'll figure that out. I'm going to look at I'm going to take another look at the drawings. Excuse me, the CAD drawing for this and see exactly how. Although I don't think the CAD drawing shows the wiring. I think it shows the structure and none of the wiring. But we'll see. It might have the electronic. I think it had the electronics, but I don't think it had any of the wire routing. But we'll have a look and see if that works. But I tell you one thing, I'm not giving up after coming this far. This part is a challenge. I will admit this part is a huge challenge for me. But damn it, I'm going to make it work. So there's quite a few things to do. So we have our steppers plugged in. We've got to get we're going to do sensorless homing. I don't need to do the sensors. But again, I think sensorless homing, as you said earlier, is a matter of getting the bed size correct. And again, it's all going to be in the configuration of the config file. So we have this. Then we've got to get our wiring. We're going to have to make some plugs and some extensions from our hot end since we're not using the umbilical anymore. So we're going to have to make some extension plugs from the hot end, come down, and we got to get our hot end wiring down here. I've got to decide where I'm going to put the sensor, the nozzle sensor. I may just end up stealing. I don't know how I'm going to work that. Again, it's a learning experience. So we have that. We have the bed power to come from the mains. Then we're going to have the bed coming up from here after we get the Wagos connected over here. We have our sensors, our end stops, which we may not need, which are going to go here. Sorry, these are our thermistors. So we're going to have 2 thermistors that are going to be in here. We're going to have our fans hooked up here. I don't think there's any 5-volt fans in this build. We'll find out. And then, what am I missing? I think that covers everything that we've got to go here. So just a little bit more wiring, and then we power up. And nothing is going to work the way it should, of course, right off the bat, because we have to configure firmware in order to tell it what motors are where. But at least the powering up will tell me if there's any fault in the wire. Wow. I'm going to try and get some of this done during the week because I know I'm anxious to get this thing up and printing. And so, and I know you guys are probably anxious to get this thing finally doing something. I'm going to have to come up with a way to straighten out and neaten up this wiring a little bit better. But I even have a little LED strip I'd love to throw in there somehow. But who knows? But oh, there's one of the sensors. One of the, I think this is the X. That's that's the old ZN stop sensor. So, anyways, we are almost 2 hours into this. Got a few things done again, as expected, but looks like 14 of you hung around, and I appreciate that. So the 14 that hung around get to participate in, guess what? Let me just move this out of the way. We're gonna do a draw. We're gonna do a draw. Let me set up the draw. Let me give away a roll of filament. We're gonna call it. Anybody know why? Oh, you already asked that question. I already read that question. I don't know why. Okay. If you've won within the last 3 weeks, please understand if I respin. Hey, Chris Travis, Mark Flanagan, you're late. You guys are just in time for the Polymaker giveaway. I got some of the wiring done. We're going to have to continue the wiring on Barbie next week. We ran into some snags. We had a lot of components to squeeze in our box. Did I just say that? Anyways, but the truth is, Barbie's box is small, and you can't fit much in it. So we had to make some sacrifices. Okay. And now we're going to set up for the draw. So let me go ahead and get the draw ready, and let's find. No, I don't. I'm going to find the StreamYard giveaway tool. Whoops! I always click the wrong link. Always. I really need to bookmark this link. I really do. Okay, where is the link to that? Oh, come on. I always forget where this link is. Bear with me 1 second, guys. Okay, where? I'm going to bookmark this after the stream this time. I always forget where the link is. Okay, come on. Oh, Lord. I know there's a link for it right here. Oh, there it is right there. Duh. Found it. Oh, there we are. I was going to say my stream's not coming up. Okay. Here we go. There we go. Finally, guys. You guys know what to do. In chat, type that. Copy and paste. Don't be haste. We all of a sudden have 19 people here for the giveaway, which is great. Again, if you've won within the last 3 weeks, we're going to set that as a rule going forward. If you've won within the last 3 weeks, please, we will pass on. We'll draw again. I have a list of the last 3 winners here. So, and after this week, the previous winners can then win again. We want to give everybody a chance to be lucky winners. So let's just see what happens. So keep going. We have 11 entries, 20 people watching. 20 people, 11 entries, but go ahead, type hashtag Polymaker in the chat. I'm going to close it at 6:59, which is 3 minutes from now. And we will let, I see some people I haven't seen on my stream before that are all of a sudden coming in to win some filament. You guys have to subscribe to my channel. Come on. If you're new and you haven't subscribed, please come on. And if you're just lurking, it's time to win. Okay, we have 23 people. How many likes does my stream have so far? We have 6 likes. Wow. 23 and 7 likes now. Wow. I should make a rule that you have to like the stream in order to win filament, but you know what? There's no way to monitor that. So 15 entries, 2 minutes to go. So when you do win, whoever the winner is, I'm going to, after the draw, I will put my email in the chat, and you'll need to email me with an email address that I can send you the winner's form to fill out. And you have to make sure that you use the exact same screen name you're using on here when you fill out that winner's form, or you will not receive your filament. And I know they are delayed a little bit in getting the winners their filament, but it will come. So you have to just be patient for that. I believe Jerry was talking on a stream yesterday where it was about, they're looking at 3 weeks or so. Yeah. Oh, well, definitely, Nick. If you give the stream a thumbs up, it increases your odds. And if you're not subscribed and you actually subscribe during the stream, and don't just unsubscribe after the stream, but if you subscribe, your odds go up even higher. So you see 24. There's 17 entries now. And look at that. Of course, let's see how many thumbs up we have right now. We have, 28 thumbs up. Oh, see, that worked. Awesome. I think I was looking at an old earlier in the stream. So you got yours in a day last week, Steve Alpha. Oh, awesome. That's pretty quick. Your filament came in a day? Wow. Got your like in, just forgot to do it. That's okay, Brent. No worries. No worries at all. Okay. 30 more seconds, and we're gonna do the draw live on stream. See, we're gonna hit this draw button right there. The finger's pointed to it. Okay. We are closing it. We have 17 entries. Looks like James might have get in at the last second. Oh, you got your code. Oh, good, good, good. And here we go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck, everybody. Let's see who this week's winner is. Again, if you've won within the last 3 weeks, we're going to redraw. But let's just see who we got. Leo the Human. Leo the Human, you did win. Actually, it's been 4 weeks. So we are good. Now, Leo, type in there again if you want me to redraw and let somebody else win. It was 4 weeks ago you won yours, but we didn't stream 2 weeks ago. So I'm going to let Leo the Human make the choice here, whether he wants me to spin once more or if he wants to take this again. He did win 4 weeks ago, but I'm going to let him see if he wants to. It's been more than 3 weeks, so you'll take it. Okay, sounds good, Leo. Okay, no problem. And that is the rule within 3 weeks. So because we want to give everybody a chance. So congratulations, Leo the Human. And those of you that didn't win, come back next week because you could win. You know, and the more you watch me, the more chances you have to win. So let me go ahead and write this down. And you know, the fewer people that are watching the stream at the time, the better chances you have. But it's becoming quite popular, and I'm getting, I think this is having more people bear with me and stick with me through these streams. So hey, you're all winners. Hey, James, my goodness, that just hits me right here. Thank you so much. You keep your losing streak going. I'll be honest with you, Teza, I have entered different people's streams for giveaways for different things. I can't enter the Polymaker giveaways, obviously, but I've yet to win anything on a stream in the last 2 years. So it's just the way it is. Sometimes you're a winner, sometimes you're a loser. I'm not as lucky. I don't know if you guys know Matt German. He's on Jerry's stream every Saturday. He is the luckiest SOB I've ever seen when it comes to winning stuff on streams. So sometimes you got it, sometimes you don't. So there we go. So Leo, I think I have your email still. But just in case, send it to me again. I don't keep people's personal information because it's there's just too much information to keep. I'm going to put my email address here. Whoops. It's pretty easy. It's twit3dcanada@gmail.com. Go ahead and email me again. Yeah, that's good. Email me again, and we'll send you that link again. And you go ahead and I'll fill out what I have to fill out, and you fill out what you have to fill out. So congratulations again. So we will be doing that again. And thank you again to Polymaker for the partnership and sponsoring this giveaway. If you haven't tried it and you have a bamboo printer or a Voron, get the Polysonic. This stuff, the Polysonic PLA is it's the PLA that's made for the faster printers and printing at higher speeds. This entire threadboards project that I've been doing, all of the black back and the thread, all of the black backs for the threadboards, which you can't see really clearly on stream, but if I do this, you might see it better. But all the black threadboards are printed with Polysonic PLA, and they saved me about 30%. I didn't want to go super fast like Ludicrous, but it saved me about 30% printing time overall by doing this using the fast Polysonic, and the prints are beautiful. I mean, they're flawless prints. So that stuff is great. And it comes in various colors, and they have Polysonic PLA Plus in various colors as well. So I suggest you try that if you haven't. It's pretty cool stuff. It is a lot of plastic, but the organization that it has given me is incredible. Yeah, but and I intend to do more. I've got some. I'm going to be getting rid of some containers up here because I find this is a much more efficient way of finding things too. So if you ask me, find a M3x8 screw, it's right here, right? So I know exactly where everything is. So yeah. Bonus entries for all the streams we were on without drawings. But Steve Alfie, you've won Joel's and mine, never Steve's, Mods, or Nero's. I've never won on any of them either. So I feel so bad. Like, Brent, I don't know what to say. I've only been able to do the giveaways most recently, starting June 16th. So that was just something that was afforded me. And so, yeah, I'm sorry we can't do that. I would get so many entries then. Maybe I'll do a draw for something. I don't know. Let's just wait and see this fall. Maybe we'll come up with something. This fall is going to be, I believe, I have to double check, but I believe 2020, 24. Yeah, this fall is going to be it's going to be the 4th anniversary of the channel. So maybe I'll look into seeing if I can get some sponsorship for a 4th anniversary giveaway. Based on my plaque here that you guys have probably seen or not, November 14th, 2020 was when we started the channel. So 4 years coming up, and man, 4 years, it's been a wonderful 4 years. It's been a great ride. So yeah, well, I'm glad too, Leo. You guys, those of you that are on here now have been watching me for a long time. You guys, some of you faithfully come on all my streams regardless, and I appreciate it so much. We're just a humble little channel, like 2,100 and something subscribers. In 4 years, that's not much, but you know what? I'm happy with it, and I'm real about it, right? So I'm going to be doing some more videos midweek. Hopefully, that's going to boost some subscribership. But hey, I'm happy doing what I'm doing on these Sunday nights. I really enjoy this hobby. I really enjoy doing these builds like I do. And it's obvious I don't know everything, and it's obvious a lot of the times I don't know what I'm doing, but you guys help out, and eventually we figure it out and we get things done. So yeah, it's exactly. So your birthday 2 weeks ago. Oh, well, happy birthday. That was Canada Day weekend. So happy belated birthday. I'm sorry I missed that, but that was Canada Day weekend, and we took a little family vacation. So yeah. Anyways, listen, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to try and get some more of this completed through the week, and we'll continue and pick up where we left off. If I get some time this week, we'll see, depending on how busy I am at my full-time gig. I may be able to get some good progress done on this. And within the next couple of weeks, I'd love to be able to plug this in and start getting some firmware done for it. So, oh, my other screen's just going crazy on me. So you guys have a fantastic week. And congratulations again, Leo the Human, for winning. Come back next week, guys, and you may be able to win some filament as well. And everybody have a fantastic week. And I appreciate you all for sure, and you guys all know that. So thanks so much, and we'll talk to you guys later. Have a fantastic week. We'll see you next Sunday. Bye for now.